All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Three Rivers Survival. So I had the opportunity to go out into the Adirondack Mountains and I ran out of time, unfortunately, so I didn't really get to use this as much as I wanted to. I would not call this an axe. This is definitely a hatchet. Now, the Hammerhawk is very specific. It's a very picturesque type hawk, I will say, because it can be a hammer and it is sort of a hawk, but basically what it is a one, I want to say a 1/4 inch, and looks like a little bit of 5/16 here at the edge, or at least at the handle part. And it is a very good looking axe or hatchet. I don't know if you could see the design there. You see where that there's an arrow there, and that's supposed to pick up the motif of, you know, obviously a tomahawk with Native Americans. And I think the story went along the lines of Leo Espinosa. They were building this thing, and they wanted to lighten up the head, and there was a little blank spot here, and someone just said, let's just put an arrow in it. And that's what happens with CNC machines nowadays. You can put any design in there you like. I unfortunately don't have that type of equipment. But to get back to the axe, this is a 1075. It's not 1095. They just came out with a new batch, so if you're able to get your hands on one, buy it. I bought mine used, all right? I knew that I was going to use it. I wanted to get some field time on it. I got a little bit of field time on it. If you're not familiar, I do go to the Adirondack Mountains every winter to go hunting, and I usually take a couple products with me just to test out. Before I drop this down, please do me a favor, like, subscribe, give me that thumbs up. There's about 80% of you that watch my videos all the time, but you're not subscribed, so please do so. That's the least you can do for me, is just hit that little bell icon with the little parentheses. Give me a thumbs up, put some comments down below. It really helps the algorithms. So let me drop this down and we'll talk a little bit more about it. Again, I got the specs from the website. It's about $370. You can get them a little bit cheaper, under the $300 mark. Again, like I said, overall length is going to be 1450. Blade length is going to be 450. All right, so 4 inches, 4.50 inches, so almost 5 inches. All right, the blade thickness is .380, and the blade steel is 1075. Rockwell hardness is going to be 56 to 58. Green canvas micarta, which is really nice. I do like that grippiness. It does have these bolts that you can take it apart if you wanted to, although top says not to, just send it in. And it is a very grippy handle. It does have these 2 lanyard holes in the back, sort of like some of the other later designs. The weight itself is going to be about 36.3 ounces. All right, 36 ounces. And with the weight of the sheath, it's a 42. All right, the sheath is included. I will say that the sheath itself is very well done, so the leather is very nice. The only thing I don't like about some of these sheaths, I mean, they are very good quality, is that when you put the hawk together, you can't use the actual hammer head. I would have preferred like something a little bit smaller that would allow me to use the hammerhead without covering it. All right, otherwise, in order for me to use the hammerhead itself, I have to take this off, and now I'm using this sharp part back towards my face, which I'm really not a big fan of. So I would have preferred that. The other part that comes with it is the belt loop, which I'm a big fan of. Thank you very much for including that. This is the Tops belt loop, and I'll get into some of the features in a second. But ideally, you can put the package together like this and then have your hawk on you at all times. This is a very small camp hawk, and I'm going to roll in some footage in a minute of me using it, just to give you an idea of some of the camp chores that I would use it with. It is small enough to use it for game, but again, it's 36 inch. It's about 40 ounces. All right, it's a 40-ounce hawk with all the leather put together. All right, so you can flip this around if you want to. So if you're right side holder, right-sided or left-sided, it doesn't matter. You can flip it around as needed. Now, one of the neat things about this hawk was that Tops said that you can use this little knife. This little knife was kind of designed to go with this. I think this is called the backup, Tops backup. Yes, it is. Give you an idea what that looks like right there. It is a super, super small knife. I mean, super tiny little knife that fits in there. Again, it can go either way, whichever way you want to put it in there. And then you could put your hawk in on top. And it's a nice little feature that allows you to have a skinning knife with you should you need it. Okay, for me personally, I think it's not necessary, because if I'm going to be using this to chop wood, process wood, that kind of thing, I'm probably going to have another knife on me. But I do like the fact that they actually included a skinning knife. It's not included in all the packages. So understand, when you buy the Hawk, the knife is going to be separate most of the time. If you find one on the used market that they sold together, then you're already ahead of the game. No big deal. Tops does still sell this in a neck knife configuration. So if you wanted to, you can actually buy the backup knife in a neck knife, wear it around your neck so you don't lose it, and use the Hawk on your belt or in your pack. So that's part of the options there. All right, very well done. I will say that this is a one-handed axe or hatchet. You can use two, but it kind of is not enough. There kind of isn't enough space to do that. You can choke up really tightly if you'd like to. Again, the Hawk, the hammer piece is only 1/4 of an inch thick, so you know, good luck if you're missing pegs, that kind of thing. But the handle itself is very, very comfortable. You'll see in the video when I roll it that you do have quite a lot of space to do that. One last thing that I'm going to touch on, and specifically, is the grind itself. You'll notice that I reground the blade. Okay, I did that on purpose. I wanted to have a hatchet, not a knife, and Tops does this. Tops has some of the sharpest knives I've ever seen out of the box, so nothing against them. When I use an axe, the way I use an axe is not for bushcrafting. I don't need to choke up on this knife and I don't need to choke up on this axe and do all kinds of whittling and stuff like that. What I need this for is a camp axe. If I'm going to chop down some trees, or I'm going to split some wood, what I want is a convex edge at the end of this, okay? What Tops does is they usually have a bevel, a large bevel, and a secondary bevel, which is sort of along the lines of a knife's edge. Okay, so you'll have this one bevel and then a secondary. It's more of a it's more of a V edge, and it's very sharp, and it will work. It will cut wood, it will chop wood, but for me personally, what I like to do is give it a convex edge and go all the way down to 0. So as you can see, what I did is I put it on my belt grinder, and I got rid of that secondary edge. I made it all one convex edge, or to the best of my ability, made it one convex edge. Again, I'm trying to use this as a splitter around the campfire. If I want to chop wood, or if I want to chop trees down, I want to be able to break that wood apart, okay, as easily as possible. And this thing does do that, and I'll show you on the video. So without me rambling on anymore, let me roll the video and give you an idea of what this little hatchet can do. Please do me a favor, like, subscribe, hit that thumbs up button, do all that good stuff for me. If you have one of these Hawks, put it down below. I will put the links down below to this hammer Hawk if they are still available on my Amazon page. What's going to happen is if you purchase from the Amazon page, I get 2 cents on the dollar. Thank you very much for supporting it. Become a Patreon member. I'll put all the links down below. Also check out the links to my other channels as well. If you want to get on a mailing list for one of my blades, go to 3riverblades.com. Go all the way down to the bottom. First name, last name, and your email address. Hit send. You might have to double opt in. You'll get discount codes and all that stuff, and I only send them via email, so make sure you're on my email mailing list. If you are looking for this hammer Hawk, I highly suggest you pick one up because they go very, very quickly. It not only does it perform well, but it is a gorgeous, I've never used that before. It is a very gorgeous, pretty, good looking piece of equipment that I wouldn't mind having this on my belt when I go through the forest. So I'm glad I got to test it. I'm glad that I got a used one, so I don't mind marring it up and beating it up, and it does perform very, very well. All right, so thank you very much, guys. As always, please stay safe.